Greetings and welcome to another edition of The Great Goddess. Praise be to Goddess. Praise be to Goddess. Well, here it is another Wednesday, and today we have for you the topic Goddess's Love. Now, you might have heard in a certain other book that that God is love. And that's correct, only it's goddess. Goddess is love. The God of the Bible is not love, because the God of the Bible is just totally whack. Totally whack. And to call the God of the Bible love is hypocrisy at its finest. But Goddess is love. She really is love. And what it is we all wonder, if Goddess is love, then how come there's so much bad in this world? How come so many things go wrong? Why is this world so imperfect? Well, there's no such thing as perfection, first of all. And that's a value judgment on our parts. And secondly, Goddess, we have to believe that she created the best of all possible worlds, that this is the best of all possible worlds. But she is love, and when things go wrong, it's mostly our fault, because we do have free will, as Goddess told me in her the vision I had of her. I had a vision of Goddess, and she appeared to me as a Native American woman, and she told me that the reason why there's so much ill in this world, so much bad, is because of free will. If we didn't have free will, we couldn't do those things now, could we? So why did Goddess create bad in the first place? Well, because she couldn't help it. She's endlessly creative, and everything that is came out of her at once. Everything that is, everything that was, and everything that ever will be came out of her at once. And she couldn't help what she created. Because she's endlessly creative, she can't help it. Now you say, well, but hold on a second. She may have created bad, but she didn't have to put it in this world. Well, my answer to that is that the bad is possible. Bad is possible, and whatever was possible was what went into the creation of the world, and in fact the whole entire universe was within the realm of possibilities. Now, we do have different abilities and disabilities in this specific realm of the physical. The physical, there's many ills, but there's fewer ills on the spirit level. There's still ills, but on the spirit level, there's fewer ills than there are in the physical. And that's because the physical is vulnerable. We are condemned to obey the laws of nature. We can't defy nature in the physical realm. And so because of that, there's many ills. There's many ills that come with the being in the physical realm. Now, why were we sent to the physical realm in the first place? Why couldn't we stay in the realm of the spirit? Well, it's because people had certain failings. They had spiritual failings. And Goddess decided, rather than just throw people away and start over, she would correct these people by putting them into the physical realm, where they would be somewhat restricted and would have to learn to work around the physical. They couldn't just do whatever they wanted. They had to work within the physical and do what physical people do and obey the laws of the physical. And when they disobey those laws, bad things happen. Um, uh, for example, on Dr. Oz's show today, they had people who had injuries from bouncing on a trampoline. Now, when you're bouncing on a trampoline, you think you're defying gravity, but you're really not. You're not defying gravity, and you're bound to get hurt eventually. So, thinking you're defying the physical leads to injuries and even death. So, when we're in the physical, we have to obey certain laws, okay? Now, the goddess set this up for us in a very loving manner to correct us for our wrongs that we had done when we were in the spiritual. So we are being corrected here in the physical. And it's a very loving thing for her to do. Instead of just throwing people away, she's going to correct them. And any soul that she created was capable of being corrupted because of free will. Now, did she create beings without free will that couldn't do any wrong? Perhaps. Perhaps she did. But she saw some value, some special value in free will, something desirable. And that desirable thing seems to us to be that we can do whatever we want to. And it is true that we are capable of doing whatever we want to. People who are incapable of doing any wrong don't necessarily have free will. Okay. So because we're capable of doing wrong, we do wrong, but the the thing is that I know that's funny, do. So we are capable of doing wrong, but do we do wrong? And that question, the answer is yes, we do wrong, but it's not something that we were created to do. She created us to do right, and sometimes we fall short of that, and sometimes we are sometimes we have ourselves to blame, and sometimes it's our circumstances that are to blame because we're corrupted by our environment. So why did Goddess do this? So that we could be together and so we could learn together. She thought that was best. And I have to agree with her. It is best for us to be together and to learn together. Because anyone can corrupt anyone else, okay? You can have a corrupting influence in your life. But you have to beg the question, if you were capable of being corrupted, didn't you deserve it? And so when we are incorruptible is when we've learned our lesson. And we can learn that lesson by having a message beamed into our heads that tells us exactly how to behave. Or we can learn through experience and retain those memories of those experiences and know not to be corrupted next time. And that's the better way. So Goddess doesn't beam knowledge into our heads at all. She lets us learn through experience, and that's the best. In the company of other less than perfect beings who also might corrupt you, but you will learn from that experience. If you're corrupted, you will learn from that experience and won't be corruptible next time. So all of this is going on at once. All of this is happening at once. And Goddess lets us live our lives in peace and harmony. She doesn't bother us. So when we are living our lives, in the course of living our lives, many unpeaceful things may happen, but that's because of the free will of other people. It's because they have free will that our lives are disturbed. But And of course, there is karma, so there might be some karma involved. But we know that the goddess is, has given us this opportunity to learn as much as we can so we won't be corruptible next time. And incorruptibility is the goal of life. That is the goal of life, is to become incorruptible through experiences that we've had. And so we learn from experience. We learn when we've done wrong, we learn from those experiences. And then next time we do better. We do the right thing next time. So that's the story. And the goddess is very loving to give us this opportunity to live our lives in the way we see fit, and to make lives for ourselves, and to defend ourselves as best we can from the onslaught from this world, and to do what's right no matter what the situation. Remember, you can never be forced to do anything. Because you have free will, you can never be forced to do anything. So you can do right no matter what the situation is, or do the best you can at least, and then live with the consequences of whatever your actions were. So that is the story of our world, and of Goddess, and of how much she loves us. She is loving. She's very loving, and she's given us this opportunity to become incorruptible like she is, so that we always know what's right to do, and always know what's best to do, it no matter what the situation. I'm Sarah Jane Alpha Wolf, signing off. Have a great week, and take care.